How you going, guys? Hope all is well. Just one final video before the reveal on my Operation Torch group build hosted by John Moore Scale Models, and one of my entries is the half track and flat gun. I've decided to finish this one off before I do any more on a spit, just so I can concentrate effort. The Spitfire I've just got to sit down and think about before I do any more work to it, due to some fit issues. But this is not the base. I'm just sort of working a few things out, how I want to do it. The base has got to be a little bit bigger. This is just going to be too crowded for this size. Just an old picture frame that I picked up from the $2 shop, which I like to use on some of the ones I've done for my 72nd scale aircraft. Anyhow, the flat gun is finished. I just added a little bit of extra detail, some handles, some bracing, some bits and pieces to the gun sight, and I also hollowed out the end of the barrel, which to my surprise ended up being straight. So some brackets, some metal hooks on the flat gun. I made a new gun cradle, which is a lot better than the original big thick thing. Some plates and cleats, the loading breech, some gun parts there that sort of elevate the gun for the sight, excuse me, some little blinds and brakes and springs, so it looks a lot better than what it was. Not going to do too much more than that because of it's going to sort of be covered over a bit in the diorama. Then I got started painting some figures, and boy, oh boy, where do I start? That's where I've got to so far. Yeah, mind you, I've got to cut this base off of these, but weren't they a little bugger to paint? Trying to get the flesh tones and stuff done. I've done some variations on the figures are all being modified now, so but to add variations again, I've changed some different colours in some uniform parts. The gas mask containers and stuff have been done. These guys wearing the full coat, I've decided that I did that in a sort of a browny colour, which I've sort of seen they are, which won't look too bad. Put some dark yellow on some of the helmets. Just modified them a little bit. This fella here's got a bit of field green on his helmet. The only thing I did notice with this one is, for some reason, they've got this piece here, which is like the Schmeiser stock. Like it looks like, because it's not, it should be folded up when it's on its back anyway, and it looks like a big wooden stock. I did take it off that guy here, but I forgot to take it off that one, so I'm going to have to, I took it off him and that looks a lot better. But I still can't get rid of this grainy plastic Airfixy crap. So, but I think they'll do the treat. They'll work for me. Once you're on the base, it's 172nd or 176 scale, HO scale, whatever they are. So hopefully they'll look the part when they're sort of got their poses around the vehicle. So these guys are sort of going to be lifting, these were the surrendering guys, they're going to be lifting stuff off the half track. This guy will be around here helping lifting stuff off the half track somehow. I've got their heads to pose a little bit differently so they don't look all the same. This commander's going to be near a wall that's going to be there. This guy's going to be running like all buggy, set his position up. These guys are going to be digging a hole. This guy here on the base will be pulling down a rope on the camouflage net. Same with this guy will be pulling a rope on the camouflage net. And this guy will be pulling a rope on the other side. That's about the only way I can get them to work. So they'll sort of be tensioning out a camouflage net. The basic one I'm going to have is this diorama is just going to be setting up a position, so the wheels for the limber will be parked somewhere else or moved out of the way. And I said this is going to be too small. There'll be sort of a bit of a brick wall there. The corner of the brick wall is going to be destroyed. The 88 is going to be poking out through the corner. The brick wall is going to sort of come up in the corners there, and over that's going to be the camouflage netting. Be a little bit of camouflage netting draped over the half track and over these limber parts. Just to setting up in a bit of an ambush position. You can imagine them overlooking a big valley with the 88 waiting for the Yanks in their Shermans, or the Poms in their Valentines, and Shermans and Cruisers and stuff. And this guy here, even though he was holding his hand up like as in stop, but I'm going to have him so he's resting his hand, getting a steady on the brick wall, the way I can sort of modify it. And this guy's just going to be running down that way, setting up, ready for a defensive position, setting up the MG 42 to keep everyone covered. So I think that sort of idea hopefully will work. These guys, I've got to get them to be passing a bit of gear yet. But the painting in the 70s, look, when you look at them up close, they're going to have imperfections and seam lines in them because I just couldn't remove it. But from this distance, and like the distance you look at it from a story, I don't know whether you can call it a story, but I think that's what a diorama is about. You'd like to tell a story with it. It'll sort of give you the gist of what's going on. So I said I'll make a piece of MDF. I've got some leftover MDF from a job from work, so I'll make a base a little bit bigger, and I scrounged up some foam or polystyrene and stuff, so I'll start mucking around with that, and been reading a few things about making the base. And I'm not going to have it too terrainy. I sort of want it level, but the main focus will hopefully be that with the wall that will come around here, it'll just be high enough to cover the top of the flat gun shield sort of thing, but still not to take away from the rest of the diorama. Well, that's what I hope to do. Sort of concentrate on the flat gun, was more on what I was after, but I don't want to sort of take too much away from your half track too, because I put a lot of work into that. And I'm hoping to get some Easter eggs. One, because I like eating them. Two, I would like some very thin. I've got some clear sheet here, but it's not thin enough to do my windscreens. So once I get those done, I can do my windscreen. This windscreen here on this side, actually, I'm going to try to represent a bullet hole in it, or a crack. So I'm going to try that for something different, and then once I get the windscreen in, I can mark off where the wipers have been, leave it dusty, and then sort of have a wiper mark, and then I can put on the little windscreen wipers that I made for it, which are sitting in the box. So as I said, I couldn't get much of the stowage, but yeah, we'll just leave it at that. And so the next time you'll see this one will be the final reveal. So I hopefully have that done over Easter. I just like, before I go, I'd just like to thank everyone, my subscribers. Thanks again for some of the really kind comments, and to the other competitors in the Operation Torch group build. Bez Beasley, shout out to you for your long range desert group command car, mate. You've got that. That's a top job. Excellent. I really, really love that. It just, everything just worked out perfect. That, mate, just looked spot on. So very well done. Very well done. Better than well done. I reckon it's bloody awesome. So, but anyway, guys, that's my little short update. Stay tuned on my other channel. I've got my crap kit reviews and paint. Got a couple of things coming up on that, and then I'll have my update for my channel for April or March. I haven't done one for a while, so I'll probably just combine a March, April update into the pair of them. What's been going on the workbench, new stuff that's arrived. I've got some unboxings to do. I've got some reviews to do. Some of the reviews will be Pro Modeler 148 scale ME410. Been wanting one for a long time. Got one. Also be reviewing the fine moulds. No, it's not. It's the Bandai X-Wing Fighter 172 scale. I'll be also doing a review on the Bandai 172nd scale TIE Fighter. And just a few bits and pieces that I've had lined up ready to go. So guys, until next time, be good, take care, and model hard. Cheers.